Hey, it's me, Silver the Lag. I hope the sound is alright. I'm just finishing off the coffee, and today I'm wearing a hat. So these are my ears, and you can see the horror that lurks beneath. Though I think the problem the other day was really that my hair was so wet. But I said that the next time I film from the floor I would do it with a hat, so I am doing it. I hope that you had a good week and that yesterday was good. The angle is not as weird today, I guess, since I put the computer on the floor instead of on top of the bed. It stays here until it gets cool. And I picked this up. Obviously I'm not gonna show it because it's hot. And I need something. I need a coaster for this. There you go. What's this? This was knitted, not crochet. So, the Peaky Blinders hat. Yeah. I have more hats, but they're all equally whack. And since I have the Peaky Blinders mug, I decided to use this one just for maximum whackness. Yeah. Let's put this here so it's not dirty. And now we have to wait for that to cool down. I'm gonna pull this from the cord so that I can get closer and do this. There we go. Yeah, this thing is very old. I have issues. I don't like change. The thing says free and busy on like each side of the shirt. It's supposed to be on the outside, but there was never any privacy, so it was always on the inside. I guess I could have used that sort of like, is it busy outside? Yeah, but I didn't do that. It was just hanging there the whole time. Oh, my rocks! No, my rocks! Oh. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn my hero to me. Oh my god, yes, this is it. Oh, this is it. I hope this doesn't fall, because, you know, this is old. That's good. I look so much weirder than usual. But that's fine. I thought about using the hanky as a bandana, because that's what it is. But I thought that would look kinda suspicious, and yeah, people use that when they have illnesses like that aren't just a hair loss. that don't just cause hair loss, is what I mean. So I decided to not to do that and just go get the Peaky Blinders hat. It's nice to talk from the floor. Actually, let me get closer, so then I don't accidentally touch that. Yeah. The other day, you got to see how I sit for all my videos, just cross-legged. Usually on the bed, but now on the floor, which is clean, by the way. The only dusty things are over there, and yeah, it's kind of overwhelming when things have cluttered and you don't really have a lot of storage space, or rather don't have ways to store things that aren't just piling things up. If I had like boxes that I could put under the bed, things would be much more organized. If I had like a shelf unit that I could fit on this side, I could pretty much organize everything else. But there's no time for that, so yeah. It is what it is, you know. It is what it is. This is too hot. Hot damn. I don't really know. What to say. I'm feeling like when I get into the therapy sessions, and just expect to be asked questions, which only works if the therapist is good. In this case, I'm just rambling and jumping from topic to topic as they come to me. The quality is extra bad today. Even though there's light. I don't know. Yeah, I have that story that I never read. And I could read that. Since this is a vlog, and yeah, I'll do that. I'll find the story and I'll do that. So let's see. Okay, alright. Where is it? No, not here. Documents. Let's see. Did this turn off? They stopped. I don't know when, but I reduced the speed of that to make it less loud, and hopefully this will capture my voice. I will have to merge the videos, but since I have software that allows me to do that now, without a huge watermark, it's fine. I'll do that. And this part is just going to be me reading the story, the folktale that I had to piece together, and then I had to find the full thing, which was also missing some details. So I had to fill in the gaps. So therefore, this has the qualities of the European folklore, but some details I added myself to fill in the gaps, because some things were just not coherent. So yeah, this is a story that my grandma used to tell, like a very abridged version. And yeah, when I looked for it, I had to translate not only the story itself but also old ways of measuring things. Which are hard to translate even to the imperial system. But I managed to find like a website where they explain those old measurements, and I was like, yay, cool, so this one is out of the way. There we go. You ready for the story? Hope you are. There you go. So the story is titled, and I don't know if this captured that or if I said this in this part of the recording, but I had to look up the rest of the details because my grandma used to tell me a very abridged version of the story. But even the written down version of the story was missing some things. So I had to fill in the gaps because some of it was just not coherent. And yeah, this is a story that has a lot of the qualities of European folklore. And yeah, it's long, so yeah, the vlog today is mostly me telling a story, which is something I enjoy doing very much, and I hope that it's easy to hear me. So yeah, there we go. I call the story The Wielder of the One-Ton Cane. Once upon a time, there was a blacksmith who treated his wife very poorly. One time, he hurt her so much with his fists without caring that she had been carrying his child for several months and threw her out into the streets. The poor woman left for the mountains and managed to find some shelter inside the cave, and ate the grass from the field and water from a pond in the cave. Some time after that, she gave birth to a baby boy. She named him Mayfield. When Mayfield became old enough to eat him as well, she also fed him the grass and the waters from the pond. Perhaps there was something in the water or in the grass. Nobody knows. But the boy grew to be very strong. He would climb tall trees and would seize rabbits, hares, foxes, and wolves with his bare hands. There came a time when he grew into a young man, remembering the conversations he had had with his mother, that he asked her if she would give him her blessing to go into the world and see the town and those wonderful places she told them about. With her blessings, he went on his way. Once he arrived in the town, he found the blacksmith working very slowly, so he approached him. "Master, I want you to cast me a 180 kilogram cane," Mayfield said. "By God, do you know what you're asking for, you madman? 100 kilograms is no weight for an iron cane." The boy recognized his despicable father from his face and mannerisms. Recognized his father in his face and mannerisms, in the face and mannerisms of that blacksmith. I'm so sorry, I didn't revise this. But stayed quiet about his discovery, and instead continued, hatching a plan. "Well then, if 180 kilograms is too light, I want you to cast me cast me one that is 240 kilograms. He taunted. "Dear God, you insane man, be serious and don't mock me." "I do not mock you, sir. I am being serious, and since you keep thinking that it is too light, I want you to make me a cane that weighs
1 ton. The blacksmith agreed to cast it without discussing how much it would cost. The boy left and told what had happened in town to his mother. When the day came for the cane to be done, he went to knock on the blacksmith's door and saw many men and a cart pulled by 2 huge bulls in order to pull the 1 ton cane from the shop into the street. The boy immediately grabbed the cane and started brandishing it around as if it weighed less than a reed. The blacksmith and the other men feared getting crushed and all ran to hide away from the boy and the cane. The boy, called Mayfield, grinned. "Now then, master, how much do I owe you for the cane?" he asked. "It's free, it's completely free, you can leave now," the blacksmith cried. Of course, the blacksmith just wanted him to go away, but the boy already had made up his mind. "Well, regardless, it's unfair, so I will return tomorrow to pay my debt." And so he left, and the following day returned to the blacksmith's house and took his mother with him. "Tell me, master, do you not recognize this woman?" the boy called Mayfield asked. "No, sir, I do not." "You have some nerve, don't you? You dare claim not to recognize this woman when you took her, slept with her, and led to my birth because of that? Well, now here she is, and here I am, flesh of your flesh, Mayfield, raised by a saint who survived alone in the mountains, fed by the fields, and whose thirst was quenched by the cave spawn. My mother will stay here, and you better treat her right." The blacksmith then recognized his wife and took her home, and he wanted to hug his son, asking him for a life where they'd all live together, but the boy called Mayfield had other plans. "I want to travel the world, for there is much of it to see." The boy then left, after being sure that his father had changed his behavior and would treat his mother like the saint and miracle maker she was. As he journeyed the world, he passed by some woods, where he saw a man pulling pine trees from the ground with his bare hands, as if they were just dry blades of grass. Mayfield was stunned by the bravery and strength of that man, and approached him. "Dear friend, what do they call you?" "They call me Oren, the pine puller. But I am told that there is another man who is braver and stronger than I am. They call him Mayfield, the wielder of the 1 ton cane." The man said, "Would you then like to accompany me on my journey to see the world?" The boy, who didn't know until then that his fame preceded him, asked with a grin. "I would, but only with a man whose power rivaled mine." The boy then pulled out his cane and started brandishing it in the air. The man called Oren, the pine puller, was stunned by that, and upon seeing it, he decided to take Mayfield, the wielder of the 1 ton cane, on his offer to see the world, and they became good friends. They walked and walked until they reached the place where they saw a man who leveled hills with his hands and feet as if it was nothing. Mayfield approached him. "Dear friend, what do they call you?" "They call me Valen, the mountain destroyer. But they tell me that there is a man who is braver and stronger than I am. They call him Mayfield, the wielder of the 1 ton cane, and I'd be damned if I wouldn't like to see him." Without wasting time, Mayfield pulled out his famous cane and brandished it in the air to show him he was that man. The 3 men became acquainted and decided to all go see the world and share whatever they got on their journey among them. After walking more, they reached a beautiful sandy beach where they saw 2 girls bathing. Well, the wielder of the 1 ton cane saw that they were throwing balls of solid glass at one another, which would pass by one another in midair before they caught them. While they played their game, Mayfield sneaked up on them and reached his hands with one swift movement and grabbed both balls. When he put them in his pocket, the 2 girls disappeared. The 3 men left and walked to an empty field, where they saw some old houses. They walked into one of them, the oldest, and saw that it had all the furnishings, beds, chairs, tables, a full kitchen, and all the commodities, but nobody showed up. "We'll stay here and rest," said Mayfield, the wielder of the 1 ton cane. "But it'd be best if both of you went to hunt some dinner while I cook what I have here." The 2 men obeyed, and Mayfield prepared and cooked the rabbits and hares it caught along the way. He put everything inside the pot over the fire, and when he went to fetch some salt, he saw a little boy with red boots crawling from under a table after opening a hidden trapdoor. The little boy went to the pot, stole all the food, and pissed inside the pot. The wielder of the one-ton cane managed to grab a burning ember and try to get him, but the boy managed to escape him like a sneaky fox. When his companions returned, Mayfield told them what had happened, but they didn't want to believe such a thing, accusing him of having eaten all the food himself. "So be it," Mayfield said. "The pine puller will stay here this time, cooking what you have hunted, and we will go hunt some more." The man called Oran, the pine puller, stayed there, and the little boy with the red boots returned and saw all the food again, and once again pissed inside the pot. The pine puller still tried to run after him, but he vanished as if it never existed. The others returned, but the mountain destroyer still didn't want to believe it, so he stayed there that time, as the other two went to hunt more food while he cooked what they'd caught. But since he was cocky, he was also tricked by the little boy. Mayfield, the wielder of the one-ton cane, then grinned. "Rest easy, sleazy little boy, because I'm the one who's going to catch you." They pulled the table from over the trapdoor and saw a very deep well, so deep and dark you couldn't see the bottom. The wielder of the one-ton cane told the pine puller to get some tree trunks and branches to twist them all together so that they'd have something that allowed one of them to get to the bottom of the well. So, when the makeshift rope was ready, they slid it down the well, and Mayfield stepped forward. "I'm the one who will go down there," he stated. And so he went down and down into the well until he reached the bottom, while the others stayed up there, holding the rope made of tree trunks and branches. Down there, Mayfield found a large porch with many doors. He knocked on one of them with his cane, but nobody answered. He knocked again. "If nobody answers, I'll smash this door." And that's when someone spoke. "Who's there?" "It is Mayfield, the one they call the wielder of the one-ton cane." "Open the door." The door was opened by a woman who served as the porter. "Dear man, please leave, for this is the lair of the seven-headed monstrous. Will put a spell on you, and you will never leave this place. So be it. It is her that I want to meet." Then the monstrous arrived, hissing and snarling, furious. "I smell the flesh of man here." The wielder of the one-ton cane raised his cane and hit her with such might that she was at once crushed to a pulp. The first drop of blood that fell from her body lifted the curse placed upon a girl, and he recognized her as one of the girls he'd seen bathing at the beach. To clear any confusion, Mayfield picked up one of the glass balls. "Whose glass ball is this?" It is mine, and you must have the other one in your pocket, which belongs to my sister, who is trapped and cursed behind one of the other doors." "Rest assured, for I will go there and lift her curse. But before I do that, I will take you up to the house." Mayfield signaled his two companions, and they pulled the rope up with the basket where Mayfield carried the girl. When they were pulling the rope, the girl took a ring from her finger and spoke. "Take this. It contains my memories. I will only be able to speak when I am next to you. Without your presence, I will be mute." The wielder of the one-ton cane accepted it and went down the rope once again to the bottom of the well. He knocked on another door and knocked once more. Only after he knocked for a long time was the door opened by another woman. "Run away, dear man, while the little boy doesn't arrive and kill you." "The little boy with the red boots, that's the one I want to meet. He won't be long, for he went to fetch food, and even if you beat him, it doesn't do anything unless it is done with that black sword that is hung over there." She pointed, and so the little boy returned. "I smell the flesh of man here." The wielder of the one-ton cane had hidden behind the door, and as soon as he saw the opportunity, he struck him with such might that he was crushed into a pulp. But wouldn't you know it, the little boy took his shape again and stood up as if nothing had happened. "I see. If that's how it's going to be, then we'll fight here. Pick up this white sword and I'll pick up the black one," the little boy said. Mayfield had already been tipped by the woman green. I won't fall for that one. Either I use my cane or I'll use the black sword. The little boy, who didn't want to have his bones crushed again, decided to yield and let him use the black sword. Mayfield struck first and sliced off one of the boy's ears, which he proceeded to put in his pocket. As soon as he drew blood, the other girl's curse was lifted, and he showed her the other glass bowl. She then told him that she was with her also cursed sister, that they were both the daughters of a king. Like her sister, she gave him the ring containing her memories, so that she could not speak unless Mayfield, the wielder of the one-ton cane, was present. Mayfield put the princess in the basket to pull her up, and signaled his companions to pull them up. His companions were very happy. Mayfield then realized that he'd forgotten his cane in the well, and told them to wait a little bit while he went back down to fetch it. As soon as they saw that Mayfield was halfway down the well, they let go of the rope and left everything, and he fell at the bottom of the well. The traitors fled with the princess, and Mayfield felt lost and betrayed. How would he leave that well? That's when he remembered the ear it sliced off the sleazy little boy's head, and decided to bite it. When he did that, the little boy with the red boots appeared right in front of him. "What do you want?" "I want you to get me out of here." The little boy immediately morphed into a ram and climbed to the middle of the well. And then he fell back down. "I will only help you get out of here if you give me back my ear." "Sure thing." Naturally didn't mean it. As soon as the wielder of the one-ton cane left the well, the little boy turned to him. "Give me my ear." "I'll only give you the ear if you take me to where my traitorous companions are." The little boy immediately shifted into a beggar, and they walked to the king's palace. There was a party going on there because the king was very happy that the curses placed on his daughters had been lifted, and they had returned to him. There were already talks of marrying them with the two brave men who had taken them back, but the king was very sad that his daughters had gone mute. So the little boy turned to Mayfield. "Give me my ear back, right now, only if you take me to where the princesses are." The little boy, disguised as a beggar, took Mayfield upstairs, and they walked down the hallways until he found the princess's bedroom. As soon as the girls saw Mayfield, they immediately started talking and told him everything. Someone told the king that there was a man in the girls' room and that they were speaking. The king went there, and at first he wanted to have Mayfield killed for his disrespect, but the princesses told their father that he had been the one who had lifted their curse, and that only he had their memories rings, and that was the reason why they could only speak when he was present. Then the little boy with red boots turned to Mayfield. "Give me my ear back, now!" "I will, but only after I marry the princess, who will inherit this kingdom." The king agreed to the marriage, and, as it happened, the heiress was the first girl it helped, and for that reason the other one was not jealous. The two traitors, posing as brave men who had fled when they were afraid of the powers of the wielder of the one-ton cane, that the wielder of the one-ton cane possessed, and didn't want to find out their extent, legged it so fast they couldn't be caught. The little boy turned to Mayfield again. "Give me my ear now. I will only give it to you after I become the king of this land." Thus, what happened was that the king fell ill, and he became thinner and thinner, until he succumbed to the illness and died. The one they called Mayfield, the wielder of the one-ton cane, child of a miracle maker, the fields, and the waters of a cave, was made king, and only after he was crowned and sat on the throne did he return the ear to its owner. Mayfield then returned the rings of memories to his wife and his sister-in-law, and he and his new wife lived happily ever after, and the little boy with the red boots was never seen again. The end. Was this as crazy as I think it was? It's a wild story, isn't it? This time it was more story than vlog, because I don't really have much to say aside from the fact that I'm balding and poor. Scalp! By life, I guess. This is an interesting story, by them, because it has a lot of the elements of European folklore, as I said. And it has the journey of the hero, like the hero's journey. And there's the element of betrayal. And it doesn't really matter what happened to the traitors. They were just not as strong as the wielder of the wanton cane. I try to think about what the cane represented in the story, but I couldn't really. The little boy represents it's the trickster, the shapeshifter, right? And the color red represents rebellion and I do what I like. He was pissing in the pots after eating the food. And then the cursed princess is, of course, like, it's a fairy tale, so it's fairy tale logic. But I did like the part where he went to live in the mountains and became very strong, like a true demigod kind of creature. And his mother is really described as a saint, someone who survived on grass and just water from a well. And when I thought about it, I thought that the waters had to have some kind of power. Like, yeah. I don't know, it's an interesting story. It's very crazy, it's very whack, if you will. But, yeah. I thought about making a separate video for this story, but, you know, it's here. It's told. And I'm very glad that I finally did it. After I wanted to do it for so long, I finally told the story while wearing the Peaky Blinders hat with the Peaky Blinders mug. And yeah, I won't drag this out any longer. I hope you enjoyed the story and that my voice was clear enough, despite the mistakes in my translation. Like I said, I didn't really revise this, so yeah, that's it, that's all, and that's enough. Thank you for being here. I hope that you're well, stay well in my stead, for real. To hold me, hope you're well. I know you like the summer, I don't, but I have my hero right here. So yeah, that's all. But I'll be back, and that's a threat. Bye bye.